I know this video is very late, and I'm very sorry about that. A lot has been going on from being sick to the kids not going to school, so it's been too loud to do a voiceover. And then there's my computer saying that it does not have enough memory to save the voiceovers, but I think I fixed it. So here is the video. Disclaimer. Please forgive me now for there may be mispronunciations in this video. Sleeping Beauty to me is the rarely spoken of princess, but where did her story come from? There is a story that comes from 1634 called Sun, Moon, and Talia by Gembitsta Basili. Hopefully I said that correctly. If I didn't, forgive me. And it inspired many stories leading up to the animated Disney adaptation that was released in 1959. As I read the tale, know that the original is much more in detail than I'm giving, so that I don't make this video longer than it needs to be. So here is the gist of Sun, Moon, and Talia. Sun, Moon, Talia starts off with a baby girl being born named Talia. Her father was a powerful king, and at her birth, she was meant to be blessed by wise men and astrologers, but instead, a prophecy was told. The prophecy claimed that one way or another the child would die from a flax splinter. The king could either warn his child about the prophecy or keep it to himself. He kept it to himself, getting rid of every made of flax hemp so she wouldn't be affected by them. As Talia grew up, she stayed within the walls of the palace, but she would one day see something out her window that she had never seen before. She saw an elder woman spinning something on a spindle. She's never seen such a thing, so she asked the woman to come to her. She asked the lady what she was doing. The woman said she was spinning flax. The lady asked if Talia would like to try to spin the flax, and that is when a splinter from the flax got caught underneath Talia's fingernail. She fainted and all signs of life faded from her body. Instead of having a funeral, the king dressed his daughter in the most expensive dress that she owned, and took her body into the woods to one of his hidden palaces. He had her body placed in the palace where they locked it up and abandoned it. The king never visited his daughter's resting place. One day, much later, a different king was on a hunting trip in the same woods, and the king had a falcon that helped him hunt. This time was different. The falcon flew away from him and into the open window high up of a palace he had never seen before. When his falcon didn't return, he tried to get the attention of whoever may be inside, but no one answered. He climbed up the wall to the open window, and once inside, he noticed it was mostly empty except for a woman who appeared to be deep in sleep. This is where the story gets dark, so I'm given a warning that this contains a story that is disturbing. The king felt deeply for Talia and did unthinkable things to her and her body. After he was done, he left the tower and made his way back to his kingdom, where he went back to his queen, at which he also committed adultery. But here is the thing, Talia wasn't dead, but really in a deep sleep, and what he had done to her got her pregnant. Fairies had taken a liking to her after she was abandoned and helped take care of Talia while she was pregnant. When her children were born, one boy and one girl, one of the babies mistook Talia's finger as a nipple and sucked out the splinter. Talia woke up. She was very obviously confused, for she didn't know what happened to her while she slept. The king from the other kingdom returned to visit once again. He found Talia awake and taking care of two children that he knew was his. The king admitted what he had done to her while she slept, and she forgave him and fell in love with him. The king felt mutual for her and wanted to live with her happily ever after. However, he had a queen back at home, and she noticed his absences. The queen got his secretary to tell her what the king was up to, under the threat of death. The queen lied that the king made orders, and sent the king's men out to fetch the children, Sun and Moon, and she gave them to the cook, who she told to cook them and serve them to the king. The cook had morals, and sent the children to his wife and served another dish to the king, pretending it was the children. Every time the king took a bite, she would say, "You're eating what is your own." The king didn't think this was odd and finished his meal. She made the king's men, in name of the king, to bring to her Talia, and once brought, the two women did not share kind words. The queen prepared to have Talia burned alive in the courtyard, but Talia was not dumb. She stalled by asking to strip before burning. This was allowed, and she did this while screaming, earning the attention of the king, who came out to see what was going on. The king ordered the queen to be executed along with his secretary for betraying him. He intended to execute the cook as well, but the cook came out with the children, and the king ended up paying him graciously. Now that the queen was gone, the king and Talia could live happily ever after. As I mentioned, many stories came after this one, with little changes in the stories but enough to make them different in the eyes of the readers. Many of the Disney stories you know about come from dark histories, and this one was no different, so I hope you enjoyed. If you like this video and like to get early access, feel free to check out my Patreon page where I create content on cryptids, hauntings, alien abductions, serial killers, and much more. Can't support me there? Like, comment, and subscribe here.